All right, yo, what's up, everybody? This is your homeboy here, Marc, the motherfucking franchise. I'm in the house with my special guest, my buddy. We got a multi talented artist, producer, engineer, vocalist, entrepreneur, businessman, storyteller, whatever you want to call him. This man is everything under one. He is super talented, and I am super honored. I feel so humble and blessed because he's such a genuine person, and his music will speak for himself. So everybody, for the one time, please give it up for my homeboy Adam Cashen in the building.
Damn, bro, thank you. That was like the best intro I've ever had, man. That made me. I was listening to that like, damn, man.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to give credit where credit's due, big
I
dog.
appreciate that, bro. For
A
real.
lot of people would downplay. A lot of people, they don't like to speak on other artists without
Yeah.
speaking about themselves.
That is true, man.
Yeah, and
That is
I
true.
will never do that. I will always give credit where credit's due. Oh yeah,
Cheers.
dap it up, chop it up, dap it up.
Cheers to that, man. Yeah, you got to be humble, and that's one thing. Like, I feel like in hip hop, there's not a lot of humble characters these days.
Mhm.
Everyone tries to be so braggadocious, and not even just that, but my least favorite thing, I find this so annoying, is when people portray themselves as like these peaceful hippie types on the Instagram, and then you meet them, and then they're like, super brash. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, you talking about peace and positivity on Instagram, but in the studio, you
You're kind of a dick.
yeah, that's my least favorite.
No, I feel you. It seems like there's a lot of people wearing a costume.
Yeah,
A lot of people still have a face mask on. You know what I mean? Like
definitely.
they either don't believe in themselves or they see a wave that they want to be a part of.
Yeah,
So I agree 100%. You and I both know, being touring artists, jumping all these stages, coming across so many different people. Like you said, you spot somebody where in your head you're like, man, this dude was cool on Instagram. He was cool in
Yeah.
his YouTube videos. Let me
Yeah.
go chop it up.
yeah,
And they're a dick, or
yeah.
no, I get you 100%. I agree. I'm glad that you're not like that.
Yeah, I mean,
You
I
know?
definitely just try to be myself, wherever I'm at. If I'm doesn't matter like what room I'm in, I just try to keep the same vibe.
I got you. In a day and age now where it seems like everybody is trying to put on that costume to get the views, the likes, portray themselves to be somebody different. How do you find yourself being comfortable with yourself, being so easily just yourself, and not having to put on like a fake suit or anything? How do you find yourself navigating those lanes, those waters?
I mean, it's just like nowadays people, like you said, trying to ride trends, and they're so quickly trying to like switch up their style to fit with what's popping right now. But at the same time, like people, the fans, the people watching, they see through all that. So you got to be like genuine, and you got to be yourself throughout whatever, because again, if you're being inauthentic, people are going to see through that. And that little success that you're chasing, being inauthentic, it's only going to be temporary, because again, that's why you have like people that are one hit wonders, people that come and go, because if you look at everyone that's has longevity, they've always stayed themselves, whether you like them or not. Like, I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Drake, somebody like Drake, he's pretty much been himself the whole time. Kanye, he's pretty much been himself the whole time. Whether you're fans of those people or not, the people that have been in it and stayed in it, they were themselves. And yeah, they might have like, and there's a difference between like, riding trends and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like
switch it up a style.
yeah,
staying,
you got to
staying,
stay current. You got to
Yeah,
stay current. But when you're completely like basing everything and trying to, when you're obviously doing it as like a reach, that's when I think people find it as disingenuine.
Got it. Yeah, that makes 100% sense to me. I feel the exact same way. It's so much easier. It's like stress free, no chip on your shoulder, no
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah.
When you can just be yourself and walk in the room, and what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
So I think that's very admirable of you to be able to stay yourself, stay humble, just be confident, comfortable with
that, man.
yourself. Because like you said, it's so easy for people to not be like that.
Yeah, and I think a perfect example of that, like, if you're somebody who's not gangster, and you're trying to act gangster, obviously that's going to catch up with you. You know what I mean? That's when you have like this image that you're trying to maintain, but you got to like, you fight so hard, like, oh no, I don't want them to find out the school that I went to.
Right,
You know,
right,
like,
right.
oh no, I don't want them to find out like I was in theater, like I did
Yeah, yeah,
this or
yeah.
did that. You know, if you're like trying to uphold this like tough guy image,
No, I wasn't singing in Annie or whatever it's
that's like
called.
the same that's like the same thing as like cheating on your girl or something and trying to always like delete texts and do stuff like that. Like that's way too much work, bro. Like just be yourself, be happy, and it's just easier. So that's my answer.
And just have 2 girlfriends? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah,
I'm just
nah,
kidding. I'm
I
just
was
kidding.
like, what? No,
I'm just
nah,
kidding.
nah,
I'm just
nah,
kidding.
nah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Nah, you caught me off guard when you said that though. That was good.
get,
That was good. That was
I
good.
get what you're saying 100%.
It's like trying to uphold like a fake facade, you know? That's
yeah,
why
yeah, absolutely.
being fake is a lot harder than being real if you really think about it. And it's just
Yes.
you just got to accept the little, like for me, like if I'm myself, I don't care if people talk shit about me cuz it's like I'm just being real, but once you can get over that initial like not caring, then you're just it's easy. Just be yourself.
Interesting. Okay. Speaking of not caring, because I have that same mentality. I'll go into different venues, different shows,
Yeah.
and I clearly stand out at certain places.
Yeah.
I clearly look like I'm more of a fan, or sometimes people ask me if I'm like a bodyguard or something. It's like I'm not that big, you know. Like, I
Dang.
don't get it.
Hey,
But
that's kind of a compliment though, honestly.
yeah,
think
yeah,
about it, perspective,
I'm not I'm not opposed to them seeing me like that. That's cool.
It's kind of like they think like, yo, you could fuck me up. You look like your job is to fuck
Yeah,
people up.
you
That's
know what it is
basically
too.
what they're
It's
saying.
my own like feelings about myself where I've been big my whole life. It's like I just want to be small. Where like people who are small, like man, I just want
Yeah.
to be big. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's just one of those perspective things.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's places where I clearly don't belong, and for me, I walk in, do my thing, and then people are like, damn, I didn't even know you rapped. Damn, I didn't even know you were gonna hit the stage.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, now you know.
Yeah.
Looks can be deceiving. You know.
Yeah.
But back to what you were saying though, just being able to be yourself. Have you always had that confidence in you? Have you like when you started dropping music, when you started performing, did you always like fuck it, I don't care what you say, I'm gonna do me?
Yeah.
Or did that come over time, building layer after layer? you
Yeah,
know?
I think it just comes from the fact that like I always say this as a joke, but like growing up, my friend group looked like 8 Mile. Like I was the one white homie back in my crew, and I would always like all my homies knew that when it came to like music that I was a problem, and they all knew and respected me, and they would like defend me if anyone would talk shit. But when we would go to different places, like different cities or whatever, people would just see me and they would just kind of be like, like this little white kid with glasses, like they would just kind of look at me like before I went on the stage or whatever. It's like the same thing when we were kids and I was playing basketball at the park. I have a mean 3-pointer. If I really want to, I could, back in the day when I was on the court all the time, dude, my specialty was the fact that I was the little white kid with glasses. Nobody would cover me. I would be open. They would pass me the ball
That's
at the 3-point line,
disrespectful.
and I would wet it in their face. And then they'd go, "Who's got this guy?" Like that was me. And that's the same thing with music. Like people sleep on me, and I don't really care if they do, because at the end of the day, like I'm just making music because I love music, and I'm not really trying to like fit in a certain crowd or gain a certain type of fan base. Like I just want people that like me and like my music to vibe with me. That's it. I'm not trying to be fake or inauthentic, because that shit's gonna come back to you. Like again, as a white kid, if I was trying to be like Slim Jesus and be like, yo, and I got a funny story about that. Like
Slim Jesus, what a reference.
I know, and I only said that because I saw him pop up on
Go
YouTube
ahead,
the
go
other day.
ahead.
But like, okay, when I was in conversations with people about management teams and things like that,
Right.
I had one person basically show me Lil Mabu, and they were like, yo, you could, like, if you did this, if you went this route, you would pop off so quick. You know who Lil Mabu is?
I'm not familiar.
He's like I don't really know his full backstory, but the gist of what I'm told is like he's like a really rich white kid
Okay.
that makes super hard trap drill music that's just like talking about all kinds of stuff he doesn't do, but he's so good at it that like people don't even care.
They just fuck with it.
Yeah.
Like what do they call those, culture vultures?
I guess I'm not. Hey, no hate to Lil Mabu or nothing like that, but I'm just saying like
Come on
somebody
the podcast. Fuck with the
somebody showed me that, like somebody that was in a potential management position and was like, "Yo, look at this. Like if you did this, you would pop off." And I'm just in my head like,
you would
bro,
probably be so unhappy though.
no, I would not do it. I would not. I did not, and I would not because, like, again, I'm not trying to portray this fake image of myself that I'm thugged out and gangster, when in reality, I'm not. I'm not. I don't claim any of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not trying to walk around with like mad security because I talk a bunch of shit on the internet and somebody's gonna test me. You know, that's like,
I feel you. I get that. Yeah, that would be pretty annoying. Where it's kind of like, dude, I was just making songs that you like.
Yeah.
Don't run up on me.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a tool is. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Because people love to
you.
test. People love to test rappers. People love to test famous people. They see somebody, they
But you know what? We got to agree on this. Hopefully, we do. That sometimes it's warranted.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, not to the extent where there's like violence or anything, but at least to like, hey, are you really a stepper? Are you certified like you're saying? Let's go talk about
exactly.
it.
No, you're right. Sometimes it's very warranted in that sense. Like
just be you.
they need to be
humbled.
humbled. Some people
Yeah.
definitely need to be humbled. I could agree with that, but
I-
not with death. Not with death.
Yeah.
Nothing
I
crazy,
mean,
just-
I don't even want people to get beat up or anything. You know? Like,
yeah.
Fighting sucks. Fighting hurts, man. I mean,
Drake got humbled recently.
nobody wins in a fight. Like,
Yeah.
your hands hurt. You get hit, you still hurt. Even if you win, like you're hurting the next day. Fighting hurts, man. Knuckles take a while to heal up and the swelling to go down. And then even after that, like you grip anything for the next couple of days, like it hurts. Fighting sucks. Don't fight. Nobody fight. Nobody throw hands.
Fighting is stupid.
Keep it
corny.
lyrical. But you just touched on Drake and Kendrick. You said Drake got
Oh yeah,
humbled?
no, I was saying.
What was
Drake,
your take on that?
Oh man, I mean, okay. At first,
Before, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Before you go, I am a Drake fan.
Okay,
I've been a Drake
okay,
fan
okay,
since he
okay.
started doing his mixtapes. Before he even popped onto the scene and got signed, I got put onto him by these YouTube shorts.
Mm-hmm.
He was performing at like House of Blues or some shit, like real, like a small venue, but he was going off. He was going off, and I was excited to see him because I always wanted to be a singer that can rap, and I
Yeah.
feel like he's a perfect example of someone that's doing it right or who's been doing it right. So it kind of hurt my soul to see him get beat up, you know. But take it away, whatever your thoughts were on it. Like I said, I
Alright.
just wanted a preference. I was a Drake fan, so
yeah.
I'm hurt a little bit, you know.
It's all good. I mean, I honestly like both of them as artists, but I will say this. At first, when the whole thing first popped off, I was not really into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I first heard it, I was like, yo, this is real weird timing that this would pop off at the same time that the P. Diddy thing popped off. I was like, yo, this is like a little distraction. That's what I thought initially. I was like, this is real sus.
And I bet you're not the only person who feels that way.
I'm sure I'm not.
Sure.
But that's what I was thinking. I was like, yo, why is the story of the century where we got hip-hop's Jeffrey Epstein going down?
Go get me a cheesecake.
Yeah, like some crazy situation. But then all of a sudden, the two biggest artists in hip-hop are now beefing like within the same week because all the blogs basically switched their what they were talking about. But anyways, and then at first I wasn't really, because of that, I was like, I don't really care about the beef. I wasn't really like listening to it. I heard like that. It was cool, but I wasn't like. And then, my group chat with my homies, everybody's like, yo, Drake dropped, Kendrick dropped. Like, and then when, I think Euphoria, when Kendrick finally responded, that's when I listened and I was just like, okay, now this is getting personal. And then when the Meet the Grams came out, I was just listening to that like I was watching like a First 48 episode. I was like, just listening to it like
Somebody
I
go
felt
pick
hurt.
up his body, goddammit.
I was like, he's over. But at the same time, like, Drake, he needed to be humbled because when he was beefing with Meek Mill, I don't know if you remember, but he was reportedly, like, renting out the hotel room above Meek Mill and playing back to back
No
on
shit.
repeat for like hours all night. Super petty. And he was
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
all this super petty stuff. And then when Pusha T dissed him, which I thought that track was cold, the Story of Adonis, that whole thing, or Story of Adidon, whatever it was called, that track was so hard. And then Drake's response was literally, he went to Instagram and was basically like, guys, this isn't funny. Like some shit like that on his story. Not at word for word, but it was basically along those lines. Like,
Man, this hurt my feelings.
this isn't funny, guys. Like, this is serious. Something, something. And then just no more. We didn't hear, he didn't respond. And then his son actually, like, he really had a son.
Yeah. Like,
So
it was
then
real
that-
dirt.
Yeah, it was crazy. But, like, Drake didn't even respond. Like, Drake took that on the chin, but basically thought, like, oh, since I'm Drake and he's Pusha T, like, I'm just going to walk away from this.
You know what I felt like? I felt like there was more that Pusha T could have said, and that's why Drake never responded. Because he was like, if he found out about my son, I wonder what else he knows. And he's like, you know what? Wiped his hands and walked away.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of like the mafia sending, somebody's pinky to your door.
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
hip hop version. It's like, all right, he
Absolutely.
he found out some shit. I don't even really want to.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so then when Kendrick, came out with all those tracks, whether or not, I know there's online debate about like all this stuff, like does Drake really have a daughter and this and that. Not getting CSI
Makes you think though, right?
Yeah. I mean, who knows? But not getting all like FBI about it and like ooh, examining every line. Just stepping back and listening to the music. Kendrick destroyed him. I think with Meet the Grams, he destroyed him, like right then and there. But then when he came out with Not Like Us, that track obviously and this is the funny thing. When me and my boy were talking about it, I was telling him, I was like, yo, the Kendrick tracks are cool, but none of them have replay value. Like, I'm not gonna go bump Meet the Grams in the car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No.
So then maybe if you're like just kicking it or whatever you want, you're scrolling through your music catalog and it plays. I can see that.
But what kind of mood do you gotta be in to put that song on? You gotta be in like, I hate Drake.
I hate Drake for sure.
Like, I don't have moments
or
like that.
Did he really say that? You have to run it back. And listen to it?
Yeah. Same thing with like, I was comparing it to like "Dance with the Devil" by Immortal Technique. That's a great song, but you're not gonna listen to that every time in the car. That would be, I mean,
kind of deep, right?
Kind of deep and dark. But anyways. So I was telling
they not like us. What were you saying about that?
I was telling my boy, I was like, yo, there's no replay value on any of these songs. And then as soon as I said that, the next day, Not Like Us, and then I was like, man, this one has got replay value.
Just that beat alone.
Yeah. No, yeah.
If the beat dropped and all he said for the, what was it, a 6-minute track or whatever it is, if all he said was they not like us, I would just listen to that on repeat.
Yeah, no,
that beat is hard, and then just that phrase, they not like us, like, god damn.
Yeah.
Catchy, creative, simple, but fucking like, it's a just that as a knockout blow alone. Just that beat drop and then they not like us. It's like,
no, the whole song, looking back, that's definitely my favorite song of the whole beef, I think, actually.
Because 100%.
Because that one just, again, it's like if I heard that in the club, I would for sure be, turning up.
You know what's funny? Recently, I took my wife. It was her birthday, like, what's today's date? The 20th? Like
23rd, I think.
Yeah, like a little over a week ago, it was her birthday. So, I mean, it was more for me, but I took her to a Joyner Lucas concert.
Okay.
He was out here in LA at the Novo, and in between the sets, in between each artist, there's a DJ who's up there just keeping the music going and playing different things, and they were playing all types of West Coast heat because these were I believe East Coast or even maybe Southern artists. I know.
Probably East Coast.
Because I know Joyner Lucas. He's East
Mass.
Coast. They had Millie's up there, who I think they said was New York.
Probably.
They have this other artist named Graf, New York, and then they had Dax.
Dax.
Yeah.
I know. Is that the dude with the? He's got the hair.
Yeah, he rap really, really fast.
Yeah.
But he does a lot of singing songs too.
Yeah.
Like very, very
he's
talented.
on like a country vibe now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
he is super talented.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where he's from. I would hate to say he's from, A and he's from B. So, but anyways, it just seemed like it was an East Coast tour, And I've been a Jordan Lucas fan for a cool minute. So when those tickets came up, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go check it out. And it was just right around the time for my wife's birthday, so I was like, hey, this is right before your birthday. Would you want to do this with me? So she was like, yeah, let's go have a good time. And we ended up going. So in my head, I knew they were gonna play West Coast stuff to keep the crowd entertained. It is LA, and they wanted to keep that vibe and almost show respect coming into the West Coast.
Yeah.
But I still thought they would drop some Big E, some Big L, some Jay-Z, just something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was straight West Coast. In between each set, straight West Coast, nobody played They Not Like Us. Nobody did. No DJ, not one person touched it. And in my head, I was like, do they know Drake? Are they trying to stay in his good graces? Are they trying to like
They might be label mates or something.
something like that? Is there some type of affiliation where it's like, I know it's a hot song, but we're cool. We're cool with Drake, so we can't drop that. It's our homie, But they played other Kendrick songs. They played a couple of his songs. They played Snoop, Ice Cube. They did a throwback to NWA. They did a little like what do you call it? Like not a montage, but like a clip of Nate Dogg, a couple of his verses, and his "We smoke weed every day," all that. It was just heavy West Coast, and the whole time I was telling my wife, I can't wait for it to come on. I can't wait. Watch. Never dropped. Never dropped. I was so disappointed. Granted, we got there maybe like 20 minutes after the doors opened, so they could have opened up, and somewhere in between the first 20 minutes they could have easily dropped it like, hey, this is West Coast, you know what time it is, this is how we're gonna start the show, like.
Yeah, maybe.
But I thought, okay, they're gonna save it for when the crowd's fuller, maybe right before Joyner comes on, like it's gonna be a vibe. Watch, nothing. And then even at that, he fucking took like 45 minutes to come out.
Who, Joyner?
Yeah. I was like, man, I could have ran up on stage, dropped my USB, hit a set, went back, and we still would have had time.
Yeah, right.
Like, it was funny. I was watching these guys, and I caught myself not being a fan. I caught myself being competition to them.
Yeah.
They were going off, and I was like, I could do that. That's easy. That's easy. I can do that.
Yeah.
And the place that they played is not that big. So when I looked, I was like, I performed at the Yoast. I can do this easily. This is no problem. But
where was the spot?
it was called the Novo.
Oh, the Novo. You mentioned that.
Yeah. So it's right by the Crypto, formerly the Staples Center.
Okay.
I think like the Microsoft Center, something like that. It's a smaller little like theater. It's like a theater. You have all standing floor underneath, and which holds a shitload of people. But then you have a balcony. And we did it right because when we got up to the balcony, that was all VIP.
Yeah.
Nobody was standing up, getting in the way. So the seats were angled enough to where everybody was able to sit. The chairs were comfortable, so everybody was just sitting down, relaxing, and nobody was standing up, getting rowdy or nothing. Everybody was thoroughly enjoying the music, and you had a great view of Joyner going on. Like, and unless you wanted to be an asshole and stand up and block people behind you, you could have, but nobody was doing that. There's only one guy who was at the front, very front of the rail. He would stand up, and I think my wife, she goes, what the fuck's he standing up for? There's nobody in front of him. You can see right there.
Yeah.
But you know how it is. Sometimes music takes over, and you just start feeling it. But we were waiting the whole time for some They Not Like Us to play, to drop or something, but nothing hit. I mean, obviously all the other West Coast songs hit, and then, of course they played other artists. No Drake. Nobody played Drake at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not surprising.
How did you feel about J. Cole taking himself out of that race?
Oh, man. Well, at first, I didn't really think it was bad, At first, I'm not going to lie, when I first saw him do, like, the whole little apology thing, I must have been in a good mood because I was like, yo, that's kind of cool,
He's
like,
a nice guy.
I was like, he's a nice guy. And then the more I thought about it and the more that I listened to, like, I can't really listen to, it's going to sound bad, but whenever I do listen to J. Cole now, I still love his music and everything. But if you listen to, like, a lot of his lyrics, it's about how no one will ever step to him because he's, like, the king. You know what I'm saying? A lot of his music, a lot of his lyrics are giving off that message. So hearing that and then knowing that Kendrick stepped to him and he just laid it down, like laid his sword down and was like, I give up.
Mm-hmm.
As a fan, it's kind of it kind of discredits a lot of his previous lyrics.
This is how I feel about it. Or my take on it. I feel he came out with that one response, and everybody cooked him on it, like just
Yeah.
just
7-minute drill or something like that.
and everybody was kind of like, what the fuck is this? Like, you can do better.
Yeah.
And the fact that it didn't get the response that he wanted, I felt like not that he's playing a character, but like his new vibe now to me is always like for the past couple of years, it just seems very, you know, I'm doing lo-fi beats. I'm dressing down, no jewelry. It looks like I just woke up. Like I feel him hopping on that wave of, oh, you're talking shit, I'm gonna say something back, and then he got cooked. He's like, you know what? I was doing good over here, just being casual, and you know, I'm gonna do that. I feel like he took the easy way out.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to go off. I was waiting for some vintage J. Cole to come out, and not even maybe directly talk shit about Kendrick, like directly, but just, you know, braggadocious shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I was waiting for that to pop off. Like I was waiting for what was his song? I think The Middle Child or something like that, where he
Yeah.
like cooks like Little Pump and Little Yachty and Little whoever, all the little
Yeah.
like I thought that attitude was gonna come out. He was even on that Apollo Creed movie, the soundtrack. What was it called? I think Creed 3 or something like that. It's like a interlude, but it's he goes off on that, and it's like you feel like you want to start boxing and shit, like it's a wartime like anthem.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, you know what? He's gonna gear up and he's gonna spit something. He's gonna grab some attention. He's gonna let people know, okay, big three, whatever. I'm I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
And then I feel he dropped that. He got cooked because I didn't see anybody that liked that song. I don't talk to anybody who said, have you heard that J. Cole? Other than kind of making fun of it. Like, did you hear he put out?
Yeah.
You know, so I feel he kind of gave into a little bit of that pressure. Like, oh shit, that wasn't as hard as I used to be. Let me just, you know, go this route. I'm gonna stay low key again.
I will say this though, and since you're a Drake fan, I need your opinion on this, and you got to be honest. Both J. Cole and Drake, the two songs that they dropped after the beef, like, why?
It feels like it was pressured. Like,
No. But the song choices, bro.
yeah.
I'm talking about she got my phone with a nickname. It's Grippy. That one.
Yeah.
Trash. Then there's the Wagwan Delilah, bro. Like, what?
You know what it is? I feel because everything is so content driven now.
Yeah. No.
Everything is so instant gratification now.
You're right. Yeah.
So it's like I got to respond right away. I got to do this right away. And there was no thought to it. I didn't feel like there was any moment where they wrote something and like, you know what, I can do better. Let me delete and rewrite again.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it was nothing like that. It was, oh, he said what? Blah, blah, blah. I take it. I feel that it was pressure. I don't feel it was strategic.
Yeah,
I feel
it couldn't have been those. Did you know what song I'm talking about? The Drake "Hey There Delilah" remix. You didn't hear it.
I don't think I heard that one. It was that bad?
Don't listen to it, bro. If you like Drake, don't listen to it, bro.
You know what?
It's bad.
My favorite song too by Drake isn't even a song. It's like one of his verses where he just raps for the whole song.
No, this one is not rap. Okay, you know the song I'm talking about? The
Hey There Delilah.
Yeah, Hey and some other dude made a song.
Was it really them or was it AI?
No, it was them, bro. It's them. It's them, dude. And it's like, it's when my boy first showed it to me, who's also a big Drake fan, he showed it to me and I was like, is this? I was like, this has got to be fake.
This
like,
is bullshit.
This is not real.
This
I was
is
like, this is how
bullshit.
he's going to come back from the whole Kendrick beef is with this song.
Mm-hmm.
And then when J. Cole did the Grippy, I mean, it was right around the same time, but I was like, man, they're just taking the L.
Yeah.
They're doubled down on the L's.
They're kind of like digging their own grave at this point, right?
Yeah.
I'm standing in the hole. Give me the shovel. Let's go a little lower.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. No. I definitely didn't hear that one. You know, like you said, since you're tell me not to do it. I'm not gonna listen to it because, you
Well,
got.
you gotta listen to it now,
I
just
mean,
because
you
you gotta
got.
find out.
I don't know if I want to be that disappointed.
It is disappointing.
I'll do it, and then I'll just follow up with a banger, a Drake banger. I like that whole album. If you're reading this, it's too late. I thought that when that shit dropped, I was on that wave, heavy, super heavy. But yeah, my favorite, my all time favorite Drake song. I don't know if you heard it yet. Is 5 a.m. in Toronto.
I think I heard that one.
It's when we rap, I'll run it by you, dude. It is fire. I think at that time he was beefing a little bit with like the weekend, the weekend or something. But
Okay.
it was fire. The beat is fire. How he put it out, the rhythm, the style, like it's just that vintage, like I'm in your face shit. This is you must have forgot who Drake is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It starts. How does it start? You underestimated greatly. What was it? You underestimated greatly how many number ones and how long did it take me or something like that. It's just he just goes off. He just goes off.
Yeah, no, he's definitely talented. He's definitely
Well,
talented.
that inspired one of my albums. That song, because I was listening to it, because that's one of those songs. Like I don't know if you do it. Maybe I'm just a weirdo, but I make a list in my phone of like all time favorite songs that I like.
That's dope. I
And-
should do that. But
And it's like, and by that I mean it's not just hip hop. It's any genre where
Yeah.
it's like if it comes on, you got to listen the whole way through, no matter what. And the one for me, one of them is that Drake song, 5 a.m. in Toronto. So I would listen to it, and I've rapped the last album or 2 albums ago. I finished it up, and I was like, man, I still don't got a title for it. I still don't got a name. So I'm, I think I was driving home either from work or from the store, but I strictly remember coming up the street, coming down. I'm about to pull in this way. And as I turn the corner, in that song, he says, it is what it is. Trust me, you get what you give. And for some reason, that hit me and that stuck with me. So I was like, fuck, that's a dope-ass title right there. Get what you give. So it ended up just, without thinking about it, I ran it by my wife. I ran it by my family. Like, what do you guys think about this? Because I let them hear some of my music beforehand. And, I was like, don't you think this goes good? It'll fit. And I showed them my album cover already. And they're like, man, like, just it came together, So I ended up stealing it from Drake. Shout out to Drake. God damn it, he got bodied, but well. So let's shift gears a little bit. Talk
Yeah.
about projects and albums and whatnot.
yes, sir.
When you're working on your projects, your singles, whatever you have in store, is your process to come up with the title first, to come up with the beat first, to come up with the lyrics first? Like, how do you go about making your music? How do you come about your creative process?
Okay, so I'm a big fan of concept albums.
Okay.
So I like artists like Kanye is one of my favorite artists of all time, right? I like how each
Old Kanye, new Kanye, or any Kanye?
Kanye, just
Okay.
Kanye in general, from start to finish. You know what I mean? Like I like all his music. Oh, I'm not gonna say I like every single song, but
Mm-hmm.
to me, he's one of the greats, and
Mhm.
I truly will stand by that. But you know how like he's got 808s and Heartbreaks, and then he's got Graduation, and he's got The Life of Pablo. They all kind of have their own unique sound. Like they're all
Mhm.
sonically a little different. So I've always been a big fan of artists that do concept albums, and I feel like that's something that's kind of forgotten about these days. So when I am coming up with new music in my head, whether or not I come up with like, usually I come up with a title of like a project
Mm-hmm.
or a concept of an idea that's kind of like a filler. Just like I in my head, I know what it's gonna sound like, and I know the direction and the cover. I see it all in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the title is not finalized, but anyways, I'll come up with the concept, right, and then I usually just make songs that are on that specific vibe, and then when it's almost like eras of my life can be referred back to as like different projects that I've worked on. And the thing is I make music a lot, and I have always made music since the time I was like 16. Like most most kids when they're 16 playing Call of Duty, staying up all hours of the night, like on Xbox. I was staying up all night on Reason 5, I think, back then, making beats, like getting frustrated because I wasn't good at the time, and using that frustration to just keep going and keep going and keep going until I did like it and learn different things and study. Like, I would listen to music like I was studying. You know, I
Okay.
wouldn't just listen to like vibe out. I would literally be like listening to the breaks and the
So you were trying to learn,
yeah,
understand structures and
yeah,
patterns and
and like trying to emulate the people that really inspired me. And I produce, like you had mentioned before, so the people that inspired me, like production wise, is Jay Dilla, Ninth Wonder, Alchemist, Kanye West, Charles Hamilton, B.O.B., just a lot of different, samples. I love soul
like
samples.
I was gonna say that's not West Coast at all.
No, I'm not from the West Coast, bro.
No shit.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm from Massachusetts. So
Oh
when you mentioned
shit.
Joyner Lucas, I love Joyner Lucas, and I've always loved Joyner Lucas. He's from my home state, Massachusetts.
Okay.
He's from the west side of Massachusetts. I'm from Cape Cod. I'm from all the way as east as you can get.
Oh damn.
But so with the people that inspired me, I'm big East Coast like inspiration. Like I
Mhm.
grew up when you had mentioned, you like Drake a lot, and what the album Thank Me Later, or which one?
If you're reading this, it's too late.
Yeah. So during that whole era, I never listened to Drake. I never liked Drake because the music that I was listening to more so people like LOX, D Block, Papoose, like underground East Coast artists. Like I've always been a huge fan of East Coast because I'm from the East Coast.
Right.
I moved to California when I was 21, so like 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I love West Coast music too, but I didn't get to experience it the same way because when I was a kid, we listened to Tupac, but it wasn't like it didn't hit the same as when we put on Biggie or something. Like everyone,
Of course.
everyone loves Tupac though. Like it was never
universal.
Yeah.
Universal.
Sorry, I went off topic a little.
No,
but
no. Just,
So with the whole thing about like, I usually start with the production of a
Mhm.
project. Very rarely, if I start with the lyrics, it's because I'm driving and like a certain line just hits in my head, and I just am like,
I gotta save this
I
shit.
need to write that. Usually, it's always the beats first.
Isn't that funny? That's like the curse of an artist.
Yeah.
You could be so caught up in what you're doing. You could, dude. You could be at a funeral for all we know,
Oh,
and the pastor may say something, and you're like, "That's kind of a dope line. Let me slide."
No, yeah, I've done that.
That's like the curse of an artist. But yeah, so you're saying you could be driving, a line will hit you.
Yeah, so usually like I just start with the production, but usually I have like a whole concept already mapped out in my head, and then usually what I like to do is just make as many beats within that same kind of style, 10, 20 beats, and then just select from like those, cuz for me it's very rare that I have a beat even if the beat is amazing or great or I love it, if it takes me a long time to write to it, I don't really force it. I don't like to force creativity. I like to, like, when I put on other beats, the song just comes right to me. I like to work on music like that. So I have a bunch of beats. Anyways, I make like 10 or 20, and then I kind of comb through, and the songs that just hit like that, where I just have like I hear it and I'm like, this has got to be about this. I'm going to call this one this. When they start having ideas flowing like that, that's when I take maybe the 20 beats or 10 or 20, whatever, and I maybe break it down into like 5 or 6 or 7 songs. And then, yeah, I have a lot of music that I've made over the years unreleased. I have, that's why it's funny because I've gone into rooms with people that, I've been blessed to take advice from. People that are like, pretty successful and stuff like that. Not like anybody, I don't want to name drop or anything, but not anybody like super, but just people that are known and respected. So,
well, there's, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
There's so many people that are unknown
yeah,
and respected that have done so
pull major
much.
strings in the backgrounds. That's
Yeah.
the kind of shit I'm talking about. Yeah.
People that you could walk by and not know.
Yeah.
People that you can be in the same room with them performing next to a major artist.
Yeah.
And it's like you have no idea how much more more powerful, how much more work, how much more legacy
Yeah.
this guy has. No, so I get you 100% though.
Yeah, and I don't want to name drop because I'm not trying to have those people think I'm trying to like clout ride, and that's not me at all. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but basically what I'm saying is a lot of those people always tell me like, don't do projects, don't work on projects, like just do singles, which
Mm-hmm.
I get from a marketing standpoint, and I understand that, and it does make a lot more sense because if you don't have a big fan base and you're putting out like 10 songs at a time, who's going to listen to it?
Mm-hmm.
But from a creative standpoint, that's how I love to make music. So with this new project that I'm going to be putting out, which I'm going to let you know the title, haven't said it before anywhere,
Oh my
but it's going to be
goodness.
called
We got a worldwide exclusive on the in-house podcast studios. When this drops, I'll cue up some cheers or some sirens or some
Yeah,
horns
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
something. But you're gonna hear an exclusive drop from my homeboy Adam Cashen.
Yes, sir. So I got a new project. There's no date for it yet. It's going to be called Stories from Carter Road. In this album, I'm basically going against kind of every bit of advice that I was told from those people, like marketing standpoints and stuff like
Mhm.
that. A lot of my music that I have out right now is, like you said before, it's catchy. It's, vibe out, which I love. I don't ever make music to try to ride waves. I make music because that's what I was feeling at the time when I made it. And I listen to a
Right.
lot of different stuff. But anyways, this is going to be just like from start to finish. It's almost like you're listening to, my therapy, but in a musical form. Like I'm touching on topics, deep topics. I'm touching on all kinds of different things in this whole thing. And I want somebody to listen to it who doesn't know me to feel like they know me deeply as a person after listening to it.
Okay.
So again,
Do you
it's
have
gonna
a release date on it or not yet?
nah, no release date yet, because I want to finalize it and make it perfect, and I don't want to like rush it at all.
You should come back. We should do a release to it. Scroll through a couple songs.
Yeah,
Or if you want, when it drops, I can do like a reaction video to it for you.
yeah,
Anything like that.
definitely.
I absolutely would love to listen to it, man.
Oh yeah, of course,
Absolutely.
bro, of course. Yeah. So, like I was saying, none of the songs on this are really gonna be like super catchy. It's
Mhm.
gonna be a lot of East Coast inspired. It's reminiscent on like where I grew up and how I grew up and why I got into music. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Music was an escape for me. I lived in a place where, if anyone knows Cape Cod, people know Cape Cod as like a tourist destination, which
I was
it
gonna
is.
say that like lobster rolls or some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
that, like clam chowder, all that
Mhm.
stuff. But the thing is, rich people from like cities like Boston and like, other parts, New York, they own summer homes in Cape Cod. So all the real money is not actually on Cape Cod. It's like tourists that come for the summer. And then when summer's over,
Everybody
all those
leaves?
people leave. Half the restaurants are closed because they're seasonal, summer only.
Oh wow.
A lot of people's jobs go because a lot of people work at those restaurants. My mom was a waitress, and in Massachusetts, you don't get minimum wage as a waitress. You only make tips. So my mom used to make like $3 or $2.60 an hour, like something crazy.
Goddamn.
Yeah, so she used to have to hustle. Anyways, like,
Shout out to your mom, man.
oh yeah, shout out to my mom,
Shout
man.
out to your mom for sure, cause having a grind like that and fight through that, knowing like fuck, if I don't pull these tips, if I don't get, that end of the day extra, sling or whatever, it's like fuck, I'm only getting $3 an hour.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
shout out to your mom for
Yeah,
doing all that.
For real, yeah.
And
Love you,
I-
mom.
Yeah, shout out to mom. I don't mean to cut you away, cause I
yeah.
definitely want to get back to your story
Yeah,
and talk about your album.
yeah.
I do want to recognize and shout out some love to your mom also for these T-shirts.
yeah,
If
let
you
me-
want to explain these real
Yeah,
quick.
I'm gonna explain that real quick. All right, so my mom, she was always like the neighborhood mom. She would always take care of, if so and so was having problems with their parents and they got kicked out of their house. My
Right.
mom would always willingly let them stay with us, feed them, feed all the kids who are hungry in the neighborhood.
Right.
My mom, that's my mom. But anyways, she's a cancer survivor, and
Shout out.
she beat it. Amen. Praise Jesus. But
Yes, sir.
now she likes to do in her free time because she can't really work like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
She takes, thrifting clothes and she'll paint. She hand paints all these cool designs on them. And honestly, it's kind of just like deeper than just painting on clothes to her. It's more like taking something that was supposed to be like tossed away, or something that was supposed to be plain, essentially, and giving it a new life and a new vibe. And she does sets where it'll be like a shirt and pants where it has like all custom. These are just, you know, we've been making a lot of them and giving them out to family and friends, selling them to family and friends like that. So this is kind of like the only 3 we had just to kind of, you know, show off right now. But
mushroom heavy, huh?
yeah.
I like it.
My
I'm
mom's a
fan.
hippie, so she loves.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah,
That explains her good nature.
exactly,
I love
exactly. But yeah,
Is there anywhere where somebody else who's maybe watching where we can clip it up where they can support?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and link all that information. I'll
Okay.
send it over to you.
Okay.
So you can we'll
Absolutely. It'll be in the bio.
Yeah.
We'll link it in the description. I'll shout it out on IG when I get all the info.
Yep.
But definitely that way we can show support, especially the cancer survivors, man. My mom's
yeah.
my mom, she's also a cancer survivor too.
Dude, it's
She,
the toughest thing, man. It was like the worst.
Dude,
worst
colon
time.
cancer. Colon cancer, they had to cut out 12 inches of colon. It was bad. At one point it got real scary, but
Dude, my mom had a similar kind of cancer, and yeah, my mom like they told me basically twice that she was dead.
Damn.
Pretty much, like she was a vegetable. Like they literally were like, "Yeah, bro, you're gonna have to start figuring out which nursing home you're gonna put her in, this and this and that." And
Yeah.
now she's up, alive and well,
that's a blessing.
and
big
she's,
dog.
you know,
That's a
in her
blessing
free
for
time
real.
she
Yeah,
likes
yeah.
to make clothing, and that was one of the reasons why she likes to do this, is because, you know, she's like, life is short, so I've always wanted to do fashion and stuff
I
like
would
that,
love
you know.
if she can make a double X. I would love to rock one of her shirts at one of my next shows or something.
Dude, she would love that.
So
She would love that.
absolutely, let me know how, and I would love
She
to
would love
contribute to
that.
that.
She would love that.
Absolutely. Let's get back to your album. Though. Let's get back to the
Stories from Carter Road.
Stories from Carter Road. That's
Yeah.
the street you grew up on.
Yes, sir. So
okay. And you said no release date yet, right?
no release date.
Okay.
So back to what I was saying, man. So like Carter Road, when I lived there, you know, we were struggling. You know, there was nights where we had no heat, no food. We were just, you know, and no heat in Massachusetts is a little different than no heat in California. No, we had snow outside. We used to have to turn the oven on, leave the oven, and all sit in front of it and, like, you know, snuggle up with the oven on full blast and stuff like that.
Getting what's it called, the emissions that come out of it? What's it, carbon or some shit?
Yeah,
You guys
exactly.
Was it carbon poisoning?
Probably, dude. Hey, that's how we had to do it. We had to
Jesus Christ.
We had to do that. But anyways, like, that was a really difficult time for me in my life for a lot of reasons. I had a lot of friends that were doing and selling, you know, all kinds of bad things, going to jail,
right.
dying, overdosing, stuff like that. And that's actually why I moved to California in the first place, was because, like, you know, I was starting to follow a path that I was like, if I don't stop, you know, I don't know, I'm going to end up just like everyone else in my hometown. No disrespect, but just the people that there's a lot of people that just end up doing drugs and never leaving my hometown. It's a very bad, like, opioid problem.
No kidding. I never would have thought.
There's a whole
I guess
HBO
I'm
movie
like,
about it.
I guess I'm like maybe I'm not. Maybe it's just me being ignorant, but yeah, I think of Cape Cod and all that, and it's like I feel it's like the Hamptons, you know.
Everyone thinks like that, but I mean, yeah, there are a lot of parts that are like that.
Seasonal at that, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like Cape Cod is not like a place where there's no gangs. It's nothing like that. It's not really. There's not a lot of violence. There's no kind of crime like that. It's more so just like there's a lot of drugs, a lot of junkies, and if you
is it because how you said it's seasonal, so people squat when everybody leaves?
Yeah,
that type of thing. Like, fuck, I'm just do drugs. I can kick it here at this place. Or kick it over
there's
there.
not even like clubs to really kick it at. I mean, there probably is now. Like, I haven't, you know, I moved away like 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was there, if you went out to the bar, you'd be sitting with a bunch of like old dudes with like some music in the background. You know what I mean? Like, there's no place for like young people to go and have fun. So a lot of young people just make their own fun, and unfortunately, you know, it starts with
Carter Road,
whatever they're doing. But anyways, so the reason why I named my project that is because that's where I fell in love with music. Staying inside my room with my computer and just making beats and my microphone, that's what kept me out of trouble. That's what gave me like the drive and the dream to move. And again, yeah, this project is just telling the stories of like my life back then, but also how it's inspired my life now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this one is for me. This
Okay.
project is for me, and I think anybody who knows me truly personally is going to love it, and people who don't know me, if they listen to it, they will feel like they know me after that.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome. That's a great way to approach your music. I'm sure you while recording got a lot of stuff off your chest.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure it feels like it's deep. It feels like it's heavy. So I'm sure you feel a little lighter walking around now. That's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear it. I'm very excited when it does come out because I would love to give it an honest listen, and I mean spin it a couple times.
Yeah.
A lot of times people will listen next.
Yeah.
I want to give it a thorough, a couple times over to
Appreciate that, bro.
and really give it the appreciation that it deserves.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that you're kind of going against your own like advice and grains, and you know what, I'm gonna put an album out, or so that's dope. How many tracks is it gonna be?
Right now, I think it's gonna be around 10 songs.
Okay.
A lot of the songs are just like freestyles too. Like a lot of the songs
Dope.
are just no hooks. I made all the beats.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the idea behind that? No hooks, no nothing. I just want to
Well,
spit. Or is it spit, or are you like you vibing on it?
No,
lo-fi,
it's all
you rap,
it's
you
all
singing. Because you can
it's
carry
lyrics.
it too, man.
I appreciate
yeah,
that, bro.
those songs, man, bad and bougie.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Dude, a lot of those songs, that's what's funny though. A lot of those songs like I made at a point in my life like a year or two ago. Maybe almost, I don't want to say 3 years, but like 2 years ago. Like Bougie,
Mhm.
I think I made Bougie like 2 years ago.
Oh shit.
But I was just on a real
Man,
like
you just
funky
You just
vibe.
put it out. What made you? Well, if it was done years ago, why? It just felt like the timing was right. Like this is a good time to drop.
Honestly, I made like a whole project because when I had first started getting some connections and getting in contact with people that may have been able to like help me career wise,
Mm-hmm.
my idea back then was like I'm just gonna make a bunch of music and stockpile it so that way like I could show them like, look, I have all these songs that are
Okay.
hits.
I got a solid catalog.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was trying to do that, and then also I kind of fixated on like how to market the songs. I kind of fixated on that, but now I'm just at a point where I just want to put out more of my music more frequently.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to like, cause I have a bunch of stuff and I'm enjoying it, listening to it. But okay, this is kind of funny. So my daughter one time she said this. I was showing her like a couple weeks ago, before Bougie, like a couple weeks before Bougie came out. I told her I was like, cause she loves it. She loves my music. She sings them all the time in the car. She loves it.
Biggest fan right
Yeah,
there, big
dude,
dog.
she is.
It's a
She
blessing.
is. She is. But I was like, hey, Ale, I was like, Daddy's gonna release this song on Friday, and then she was like, what do you mean release? Like, what does that mean? Cause she's only 5, so like at that
Mhm.
point she was like, I don't get it. And I was like, okay, how do I explain this? I was like, okay, this song is only on Daddy's phone right now, but on Friday, it could be on everyone's phone. And then she was like, oh. And then randomly, like
That's a good way to put it.
and then like a couple weeks later, we're just in the car, and then she's just like being real quiet, and she goes, Daddy? And I like turn down the music. I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, I want your songs on everyone's phone. And she just said it in like the sweetest way. And I was like, I got to get my song on everyone's phone now.
Kids have a way, man, where they say something so genuinely, so sincerely,
Mm-hmm.
no filters, no nothing.
Yeah.
It just comes out non-corrupted,
Yeah.
just
Just brutally honest.
and it makes you feel the type of way that makes you want to be a better person. And
Yeah.
for her to say that to you, for her to even ask, what does that mean to be released? Like,
Yeah.
that even that alone is like, man, that's heart touching.
Yeah. Because she was like, we think about it like to a kid, like when we're like, oh, I'm going to release this song. They're like,
Mhm.
what?
What do you like?
what
For
does
me,
that mean?
if my kids I would have been like, oh, means I'm just gonna put it out.
Yeah.
But I probably would have just left it at that. I'm just gonna put it out. I'm gonna share it.
Yeah.
And I, like in my head, hope like they would understand. Oh, okay, he's gonna let people.
Well, one of the things you probably don't know about me, probably most people don't know about me, I actually work with kids
Oh,
as a
nice.
job. Yeah. I
All
work
right,
with
all right.
I work as a behavior therapist. I work with like kids on the autism spectrum.
Dude, my wife, she's a school psychologist too.
Nice.
I think she does. I don't know if it's autism, but I know she does like the testing and scoring and all that
Yeah.
for behavioral and learning disabilities and things
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. Yeah. So I mean, there's a whole like
There's like branches of it, right?
there's a whole they call it a spectrum obviously, but
Yeah.
there's like a whole oh, I keep bumping that. But yeah, there's an umbrella and there's a lot of different categories underneath that. So I'm sure, yeah, it's like pretty
Yeah.
much the same line of work. Well,
Yeah.
different position, but
Yeah,
same field.
I was gonna say, like I don't I always fumble her name, her credentials. Good thing she's very forgiving, so she don't
Yeah.
get mad at me.
Yeah.
Doesn't hold it against me.
Yeah.
But yeah, she went to school and got a master's and a bachelor's and
That's amazing.
yeah,
Congratulations
thank
to
you,
both
thank
of you for that. That's awesome.
dude. It was all her hard work. I just try to support her the best way I can. Try to do
Mhm.
whatever I could to help her while she was going to school, and now that she's been graduated for years now, and she has her career, doing what I can to make sure she maintains that and
Mhm.
still develops and grows. When we got together, and then we had our son. Right away, I knew, I was like, you know what, childcare is too expensive. I don't really talk too much with my family, my immediate family. We are tight knit. We're like how family should be. My brother, both my brothers, my sister, my mom, my dad, like we're tight, super tight. Beyond that, I don't really speak to my family. So as far as babysitting goes and all that, it's like I knew I wouldn't have any help. All her family was distant.
Mhm.
Like we get together, everybody gets together, but they just live farther away.
Yeah.
So it's like the childcare would be a real big issue. So it instantly was like, all right, I'll work nights, you work days, and we'll just rotate the babies, and
Mhm.
do what we can do. So I've always tried to do what I could to support her. I believe in her so much. I think she is incredibly smart. I think she is so gifted in everything she does. She tries so many different avenues outside of what she knows, and she like studies, to do crypto. She studies to
That's dope.
went to school to do the taxes,
Yeah.
and I think she wants to do notary, and then she's doing her she has a side business where she dips the stuff in chocolate, the snacks and fruits and all
Oh,
that.
that's dope.
Sets up party balloons. Like she's doing so much, and it's like I see that, and it helps me, try to do so much. Like keeps us
Yeah.
both, like we keep each other motivated at least. But I'm so proud of her beyond words. She
That's
deserves
beautiful, man.
so much credit that she doesn't get. I feel people are so used to her doing so much that it's almost one of those things where it's like, well, aren't you supposed to be doing that? And it's
Yeah.
like, no, like she goes above and beyond in everything,
Yeah.
and yet like people kind of just expect it at this point. Fuck that, dude. She deserves the shout outs. She deserves the praise. She's hot too, though. She's fucking she's sexy too.
Hey,
But
congratulations, man. You got yourself a good one.
I got a real one. I got a keeper.
I got myself a keeper too, man. And-
Shout out, big dog. That's what's
and I
up.
actually got a son on the way that's gonna be due like at the end of this month, man.
Dude,
Baby Cadence.
congratulations. Cadence.
Yeah, and my other son, this will be my third kid. So I have Cadence,
Okay.
which is my son coming. I have Carter, which
Carter.
obviously
Dude.
named after my street
Okay,
I grew up
okay.
on, and then my daughter Alessandra Melody.
Alessandra Melody. Beautiful names. Beautiful names. But
Beautiful.
before, because I have 3 kids as well. So my first boy, the oldest, 6 years old, when we found out that she was pregnant, the whole conversation, the talks, okay, what names are we thinking?
Yeah.
She left it up to me. She was, whatever you want. I was like, are you sure?
Dang.
She's like, yeah, go okay. I was like, what if, I've always wanted a Mark Jr. Would you let me name him Mark? Oh, yeah. That conversation lasted 2 minutes, and then that was the name.
Nice.
No back and forths, no questions, no nothing. So I have a junior. Then our daughter came. She's 3. Um, I think I forgot what names we were tossing around. Um, I believe it was my wife who named her. We named her Ava Grace.
Nice.
Ava Grace, and
That's a
like I
beautiful
said,
name, man.
thank you, thank you. I believe it was my wife who came up with that one. I I I, w- I don't know. In my head, I want to say because we were watching a lot of the kid shows, Dave and Ava and all that, and it just
Yeah.
somehow just kind of stuck. And it's like, man, that's a pretty name.
It is.
And then my newborn, um, 8 months, going on 9 months. His name's Jack, Jack Phillip, and initially my wife wanted to name him after my dad. She gets along with my dad so good. She loves my pop. I mean, she loves my whole family. She loves all of them.
That's awesome.
She's
bro.
like such a blessing to us all. She helps all of us in her own unique ways. But she was like, "What about John? My dad's name is John." She goes, "We should name him John. It'd be a good tribute to your dad." And I was like, "Baby, that's my brother's name." She forgot. Oh yeah, because my brother goes by Johnny,
Yeah.
but he's a junior, John Junior. So she was like, "Oh yeah, never mind, we can't do that." And I was like,
Dang.
"Yeah, we can't." But I told her like I want to think of like a hard name, a solid name. And I don't know how we came up with Jack, but like I told her, "What about Jack?" And she was like, "I like Jack." I was like, "I do too." Like it just
Nice.
hits. And then
does.
rest in peace to my grandfather. His name was Philip, Felipe. When he was in Mexico, he said, but when he was in the States, he goes, "I'm Philip." I go, "All right, Grandpa, you got it." He was my best friend. He was my everything. He was uh, my ride or die. We worked together. Like he was closer to me than anybody in my family. Like me and him were inseparable from babies to adults. Because of him, I see my first pair of tits like live in person. Yeah, man. Like my grandpa was a real one.
Damn.
His name was Philip though, and he
How did
loved.
wait? Hang on. How did that? How did that? How did that happen?
All right, so
You don't have to get too into detail if you don't
no, no,
want
no,
to, but
no,
I
no.
just gotta hearing that, and I'm sure people are gonna wonder the same thing. Like,
All right, so the job we used to work at was for a food and beverage concession stand company.
okay,
And what that company did, they subcontract into arenas, amphitheaters, um, street fairs, anywhere where there's gonna be a crowd, mass population. They go in and then they sell their product, whether it's novelty snacks, pretzels, churros, peanuts, cotton candy, shit like that, lemonade, soda water, anything like that, up into like if they want us to, if the building wanted to give us like certain sponsored locations to sell alcohol, hot dogs, um, anything for consumption. So we did that for years. Initially, my mom started doing it, then she fell off, and then I went in, and then my grandpa came in, and then a bunch of like my cousins, my friends, everybody came in, but it always ended up being just me and my grandpa. So this was in Irvine. It used to be called shit. What was it called? The Verizon Wireless Amphitheater. It was out in Irvine. They renamed it years back, but then they completely knocked it down, and now it's not. It's like a whole like neighborhood now. It's all condos and like a community now. But before it was an amphitheater, and it had a water park right next to it. Like it was huge. It was huge, and I don't remember the exact concert we worked. I don't remember the exact event. I just remember at the end of the night we're cleaning up, and as fast as you clean up is as fast as you can get out of there.
yeah,
And a lot of it was under the table, so it's like you know what, dude? I'm already be getting paid from 12 to 12. If I wrap it up at 10:30, let's get the fuck out of here. So everybody, we're doing what we do, and one thing you don't want to do is throw away product in front of people because at the end of the night you get a lot of like obnoxious people. Oh, it's gonna go in the trash anyways. Oh, blah blah blah. And it's like you're right. I was like, but my company policy is I can't just give it to you. Like we should tell them. How do you know we're not bagging this? We're gonna drop it off at a homeless shelter. How do you know we're not gonna take it? And then when we see homeless people when we go back to LA, we're gonna start handing it out. Like you don't know that.
yeah,
I was like, so we used to deal with a lot of that. So for me, I would always try to conceal it and hide it, and, double bag it, whatever. And my grandpa, where we were at, our main booth, where everything kind of consolidated to, he would stand out by the rail and kind of like people watch from time to time, but he would still be working, obviously working. At one point, we had like a rack of cotton candy, and people would come by and, oh, can I have one? And the cotton candy, dude, it's so overpriced for how inexpensive it is. So for that, we were like, fuck it, like it's gonna melt anyway. We give it out time to time. Where it got to a point where my grandpa realized, hey, I can see tits off of this. I can talk to
Oh
people off of this.
no.
Yeah,
No.
not like ask for it. Not
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, show me your tits, I'll give you this.
Yeah.
But he found that, you know, I'm not gonna throw this away because now this is entertaining for me. So he would
Yeah.
stand there, and people would walk by and, hey, can I have one? Yeah, here you go. You know, go ahead. And then there would be multiple people at times. And the time I happened to be there, it was like a group of guys. There were some chicks. You know, everybody's passing by, and we ended up only having a couple left. So, you know, he's handing them out, and then this drunk white girl comes up. I'll never forget. She had like no makeup. She wasn't ugly, but she wasn't hot. But you know, tits were huge though. She comes up to my grandpa. Hey, you know, is there anything I can do to get one? And he goes, I'm sorry. He goes, I only got a couple left. These people are in line. I'm already gonna give it to them. I'll do anything for it. And my grandpa's like, nah, I already, you know, I already have this line. You know, I'm sorry. You know, this is the end of it. We gave out a bunch already. And she's like, I'll show you my tits. He goes, my grandson's underage. Will you show him too? Yeah.
Oh no. Damn, she was
So-
wilding out.
Dude, so he took two, stuck them to the side, passed them out. Everybody left. And then he goes, hey, mijo. So I'm working. I go, yeah, what's going on? He goes, come here real quick. I go, all right.
Gosh.
Walk out from what I'm doing. He goes, let's go over here. So I walk around. I thought he was going to, you know, have
How
some
old
type
were
of,
you at this time?
at least like 16. I want to say
Oh, okay.
yeah, 16. Like,
Okay.
I wasn't like 10, 13.
I thought,
like-
yeah, the whole time I imagined you were like 7 or something.
Oh,
I
no,
was
no,
like,
no. I mean,
"Damn."
when him and my dad would watch certain things at the house, I would, I'm covering my eyes, but I'm, you know.
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
this
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
I-
of course.
you know.
All right, didn't mean to interrupt. Continue,
No,
continue.
yeah. So we walk around the side. It's dark. There's nobody else. Everybody's walking out, you know, and there's some chicks standing there. I was like, oh shit. I was like, hey, grandpa, you know. He goes, oh yeah. He goes, that's why I want you to come to meet her. So, oh, okay. So I thought maybe he knew her or something. Go over there, and he goes, okay. He goes, we had an agreement, right? She goes, yeah. So he goes, mijo, pay attention. I go, what? So I look at her, and she just goes, boom. I was like, holy shit. Like, I'm talking just big. I was
Damn,
like, oh,
bro.
shit.
That's
And then
funny.
my grandpa goes, hey, can he touch? And then she goes, oh, I don't know. He's underage. And he goes, no, just like this.
Damn, your
He
grandpa
goes,
was
he goes, no, just like
he's a
this.
savage.
And then she just like led him, like he just hey like that. And I was like, I'm good, I'm okay, I passed. And my grandpa goes, no, man, go ahead, look. You know, I was like, no,
Yo.
grandpa, I am okay, I'm good. And then she goes, okay. So then she pulls it down, he gives her the thing, and then she goes, bye, and walks out. I was like, grandpa, what the fuck? And that's how he told me about the whole, you know, she was standing in line, but everybody else got their thing. So, you know, he told her, like, wait, you said tits? What? Like, you know what I mean? So he gave me the whole backstory. But yeah, man, grandpa was a real one. Grandpa, he knew how to have a good time. Grandpa was a free spirit, man.
He sounds like it.
Dude,
bro.
he
sounds
was.
like it.
I don't even know how we got so off topic or where we even went.
No,
to.
no. That was
But
just,
yeah,
that was me. I was asking because you were like, I love my grandpa, man. He's the one who.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw
We're
my-
talking about the kids.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
and
So going back, that you know, he loved my wife before she was even my girl. Like we knew her family before, a couple years before, so we respected all of them. We loved them.
That's awesome. bro.
So you know, when me and her got together, he was like the happiest we've ever seen him. So she was like, would you like to name, before we went Jack, would you like to name him the baby boy Philip? And I was like, no, like I think Jack is right, but what if we use Philip as his middle name? So she agreed. She's like, yeah, that's cool. So he's Jack Phillip. So
I love that. That's
yeah. So
dope.
in a way, it's still like, even though we wanted John for my dad, we went Jack. So it's still a tribute to my dad and then to my grandpa.
That is
Two
dope.
two very important men in my life. You know, my pops. I love my pops with all my heart. He taught me so much about how to be a man. He taught me so much about being there for your family. He taught me so much about never giving up and being strong, and the guidance is even up until this point has been such a blessing to me. And you know, Shout out to my pop. Shout out to my grandpa. Rest in peace.
For real,
He
yeah.
passed the colon cancer. So we got, like I said, we got shook when my mom ended up getting diagnosed. We were a little nervous, but she pulled through.
God bless, man.
But
Amen.
yeah. All right, and we are back. Okay, so we left off on. I just wanted to ask you about your kids, if you don't mind talking about your kids.
Yeah.
How do you feel that it influences you in your music? And is there any not struggles, but is there any what's the word I'm looking for?
Obstacles?
Obstacles. That's a great word. Is there any obstacles when it comes to you doing music and doing shows, whether it be podcasting or live performances? Is there any obstacles that you face that maybe the average artist wouldn't understand what it's like to do this with the family?
I mean, yeah, of course. Like, I wouldn't consider them obstacles per se. Like, I don't want to make it sound negative, but I think as a parent and an artist, you have to work twice as hard because, well, how do I phrase this? So, if you're a parent and an artist, you're probably going to value the time that you have to create more. And what I mean by that is, I'm sure you and I both, we don't have the luxury to, like, do an all-night recording sesh, like, every night of the week, you know? Stay up all night, turning up, partying, getting wasted, making music, like most artists do. Most artists, that's what they do. And, a lot of people that have that amount of free time, they waste it. They don't see the value in the time because us as parents, we have, instead of having like an entire day to do whatever we want, we got like a select few hours after the kids go to bed, after you handle your responsibilities, whatever it may be. You're going to go a lot harder in those 4 hours that you got versus if you had no responsibilities and you're just like, I mean, again, everyone's different. There's obviously like, everyone's unique in their own way. There's some people that do amazing with having all night recording sessions and like make tons of songs. But a lot of times they just, want to go to the studio to just smoke backwoods and get, drunk.
Right. Make it more about the hang than the actual production.
Yeah, which I'm not against in any way. I think it's important to have fun in the studio because that's how the best music is made, when you're having fun. The studio, in my opinion, it should never feel like work. Like, it should never be like, stop, go. Like, nobody should be like, go back in the booth, do it again now. Like, nobody should be talking to you like that at the studio. It should be like, friendly. Like, I mean, yeah, there's obviously, I don't know. I would never go to that studio. It's all about creating a good vibe and then making that vibe reflect into the song.
Right. No, I get you. I 100% understand. I agree with you, especially with having kids and
yeah,
like you said, valuing the time.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the same boat where it's like some days I have to be up at 7, 6:30, 7:30, 8, whatever it is with the kids. Get my son to school, get myself to work. If my wife needs anything, do something with her. Then I got to go to work. Then I come back home and it's okay. Kids again. If I have my responsibilities or things I need to do, work out even, you know, whatever. Make sure they all got some food. Then okay, go to work again later in the night. So it's like I understand what you mean. And like you said, not obstacles. I just couldn't find the right word, but
no, I know what you mean though. They could be could be considered obstacles. It technically is, but I was just more so saying like I don't want to make it sound like having a family is a negative thing. That's more so what I meant. And I know you weren't saying that either.
Yeah. Hi, baby girl. You want to come here real quick? Come here real quick. Come here.
That was perfect timing. Hello.
Say hi, babe.
That's a cool iPad case too.
Say my name is Ava.
Hello.
That's Adam. Say
nice
hi.
to meet you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You gonna get food? Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Where you gonna go? You gonna get some Mexican food?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, some beans
Ooh,
and rice.
that sounds good.
Okay, I think Nana's waiting for you. You gonna go with Nana?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have fun. Enjoy your food.
Yeah. So
Kids are the
absolutely,
best, man.
dude.
Kids
Yeah.
are the best.
Yeah. Not like. Yeah. For me, it's not only do I have to deal with everybody else's like schedule before me, but like
Yeah.
because I record here at the house,
Yeah.
it's like I got to deal with neighbors who work from home and do like carpentry. So I hear the saw all day.
Oh yeah.
At any given time, there's fucking construction going on. I
Yeah,
got
dude,
people coming up and
that's-
down the street. I got dogs and shit. It's like
Yeah.
it's and then one day it's trash, next day it's the mailman, next day it's a gardener, and then not
Yeah.
everybody's gardener comes the same day. So, so it's just
Yeah.
it's the obstacles are bad, but
No,
yeah.
and the other thing too is like for me, I guess I have a golden retriever, a
Mhm.
big, goofy, love him to death, but he's kind of annoying sometimes.
a little menace.
He's a menace, dude, and he jumps on people, but like out of love, man.
Absolutely.
He does. After like the first 10 minutes of him being annoying, he turns into like he's like a little sour patch. He's sour, then he's sweet. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But anyways, at my house when I'm trying to record, sometimes I got like the dog barking.
You need my keys? I think my keys are hanging. My keys are hanging. Okay. So much charisma. It's my baby girl. But
Dude,
yes,
how old is she?
3 years old.
Nice, dude.
3 years old. She's about to start TK in August.
Dude, it's awesome because a lot of my son's also 3, and my
Mhm.
son is like very good with speaking and stuff.
Mhm.
That's Yuki. That's Yuki.
Yeah, that's my key.
Yeah.
Okay, babe.
And like when I go to the playgrounds and stuff with my son, and there's other kids that are like his age,
Mm-hmm.
they're like so surprised. They're like, "How can he talk?" You know?
Advanced, huh?
Yeah,
Okay, baby.
yeah. So she seems like she's pretty advanced too. She's
You
talking.
know what's funny? Like we have our kids, and obviously we do the whole goo goo gaga shit with them. But
Yeah.
like for the most part, we've always treated them a little bit more mature,
Yeah,
and always talked to them more so with like a more mature vocabulary.
yeah. Of course.
So by the time they're able to talk, they put together sentences and phrases where you're kind of like, how did that come to your mind? Or are you really holding this kind of conversation with me?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very impressive. Like we do our best to make sure that, we limit the amount of cursing around them and
course.
things that they shouldn't be saying and knowing.
Oh, I never swear around my kids, dude. I don't care. This might offend some people, might make some people upset. I think it's just so it's trashy, man. If I'm out somewhere and I see like people swearing and their kids are around, like why? Why are you influencing your kids to do that? You know what I mean?
Right,
Your
right.
kids shouldn't know those words. Like I get it, if you're at a barbecue and you're talking and your kid runs up and you're like in the middle of a conversation, that's different. But when you're just like yesterday I heard someone swear at their kid in public, bro. They were like, "Get your ass over here." I'm like, "Dude, man, like
I'm not gonna lie, that's me sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie. I can't front like.
Well,
I do my best.
well,
and
ass is like
apologize.
it's not the worst word, but I mean like some people say some real like raunchy, nasty
yeah, like
F bombs.
I won't like overdo it, and like there's times where like I'm trying to get them together and do things and the course of the day is already happening and,
Yeah.
and stress from work, whatever, and it's kind of like, God damn it, just sit down or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that'll come out, but like it's never like my first instinct is never to be like, hey, you little shit, hey.
Yeah,
this,
that's more so what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. Like
yeah.
that. And I'm
yeah. Sometimes like it's like reactive, like God damn it, dude, I just talked to you. Just sit down.
That
Or
those
walking out of the house, shit, I forgot this, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
did I just say shit? You know?
Yeah, I mean we're no one's perfect, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying if it's like if you casually swear like the same way you would in a conversation with me, like with your kid, I don't know, I just feel like
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
as adults we gotta set a better example because when I see little kids like swearing, like when I used to live in this apartment complex and there's always these little kids just saying like it was bad, bro. Like these two little girls would be listening, and I'm talking like 5 on their iPhone, iPad, whatever, listening to like Cardi B
That's
reciting the
crazy.
words
That's
word for
crazy.
word, and I would just be like,
You know what?
my
I hate it
gosh,
when
where
the
is your
parents think that
parents?
that's cute though.
It's
It's
I
cute
hate that
they,
too.
Fuck that, dude.
That's not cute. That's not
as I say,
cute.
fuck her.
No, I mean, hey, we're men here, and
Fuck
it's
that,
not
dude.
cute. It's not like teaching degeneracy to your children is not cute.
Yeah, no, 100%.
If you're a degenerate, that's okay, you know, but you should want better for your kids. You should understand the struggles that you may face acting that way, and you should not want to project them onto your child. Like,
Yeah.
if people don't look at you a certain way, if you feel like, oh, everyone looks at me a certain way in society, blah, 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 I don't give a F, blah, 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 whatever,
Mm-hmm.
why would you set your child up for that same struggle of
Yeah,
like,
it's like almost like instant failure. You know?
yeah, and it's like, you don't have to make your identity being raunchy, you know, like you
Yeah,
could have other parts of
absolutely.
your identity that are
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, like you said, I agree. If you're in conversation with somebody else and they walk up, okay.
Yeah, accidents happen.
Yeah, but if you're purposely going at them and that's all you do is talk to them like that, and I'm gonna talk to them like an adult type of thing, yeah, that's pretty bad, man. That's pretty shitty. You know, again, I not that I judge people, but that is pretty shitty. I can see where you're coming from.
I don't judge people. I don't necessarily judge people, but I'm just like my passion for kids.
I was gonna say, I bet it hits different for you too,
Yeah.
since you have to deal with kids so much.
Yeah, like when I see people be mean to kids, like
Mhm.
that is like, I have to really calm myself. Especially, I don't like bullies, bro. The other day I was at the deli, and I saw this lady be real mean to this little old lady that was just trying to order some food.
Mhm.
And that made me so mad, bro. Like, I literally contemplated just, like, cursing every person working there out because they were all being so rude to this one lady.
Right.
I had to really take a deep breath. But, like, you know, my mom was telling me the other day, she was out and she saw, like, a dad, like, smack his son. I don't know, dude. If I saw somebody smack a kid, I would really have to do some deep breaths, because that would, I can't sit around and watch someone hurt a kid, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's one thing, you know, like a little slap or something, whatever, but like I'm talking like hit. If you hit, nah, bro, can't
My go-to lately is I'll bring out my phone
yeah,
and I'll tell my son, I'm gonna send this to your teacher. I'm gonna
yeah,
show
bro.
her how you're acting. So I'll bring the camera out and right away, no, I'm sorry. I was like,
Yeah,
no,
bro.
I can only talk to you so many times. It's like,
Yeah.
if you don't want to answer to me, then I'll let you answer to your teachers. And right away, oh no, please, daddy, no,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's all right, you know.
Yeah, no, you got to.
It,
For
it,
me,
cal- it calms them down, you know.
around Christmas time, I would always be like, I'm gonna call Santa right now. And my kids would be like, no, and I'm like, you want me to text Santa? They're like, no. And
That's
then
crazy.
like,
That's funny.
and then at one point, I forgot that I like said that, and then I was texting someone else, and they're like, "You're not texting Santa, are you?" And I was like, "No, I'm not. Don't worry."
They held
don't worry."
on to it. Yeah. Kids, man, they remember everything. They listen to everything. They're a reflection. You know,
Yep.
I do my best to be there for my babies. I do my best to be the best man I can be. I do my best to show them that with hard work, there's a lot of things that are attainable and possible. I try to show them you got to stay active. You got to do more than just wake up and kind of go about your day. I try to be in their life and as present as possible with them. I roll
Yeah.
around with them on the ground. I
Yes,
do
sir.
tickle monsters. You know, I try to play soccer with my son. You know, I try to show my kids that I'm probably overly affectionate, where they can just be
Hey.
sitting down. I'll just walk and hug and kiss them.
I do the same thing, bro.
You know,
Same thing.
Everything
You gotta show love to the kids, man.
everything I do is for my babies. Not that I don't do things for myself or for my
Yeah.
wife, but like without my babies in my life, without my babies here to remind me every day what my real purpose is,
Yeah.
this all can go away. Music can go away, podcasting can go away, and I'd be fine because I still have my babies. You know, they're
For real. Amen to that,
my
bro.
my purpose in life. They more times than they will ever understand or know, they probably saved my life. more
Yeah.
times than I can probably comprehend or even realize. Come to a realization that
Yeah.
probably saved my life. You know, I will do any and everything for my babies, and I pride myself that I try to attend every game, every school function, take them to Sky Zone. You know,
Yeah.
whatever it is that they're asking of me, whether I'm tired or not. I pride myself in knowing that I actively am trying to be a better dad every day.
Amen to that, bro.
Appreciate you.
That's some real stuff because there's a lot of people that, I never had a dad growing up, so that's why I do all those things that you were talking about. Because, like growing up as a kid, and I touch on this in my album Carter Road, but as a kid, like that was one of the things that I struggled with a lot was I never had a dad, and I would just, it affected me in lots of different ways, like. I'd be at my baseball games and see all the other kids, like, at the beginning, like, playing catch with their dad, warming up, and, like, I didn't have no one, you know what I'm saying? Like, little things like that just throughout my whole life. As a kid, it really, messed with me, and it really just made me, like, at one point, I was, like, so angry. I was, like, like, God's not real because I would have a dad if he was real. Like, that was my mindset at the time. But obviously I know that that's not true. Like, but as I got older and when I had my own kids, it just like heals. Like I don't even care that I didn't have a dad growing up. Like it used to be a thing that would bother me like every single day in the back of my head. I would always be bothered. But now I don't even think about it. It's like gone. It's literally just because.
Is that like through acceptance? Through
No, it's just it's just the fact of knowing that I'm making sure that my kids don't have that in the back of their head. You know what I mean?
That's very admirable, big dog. For reals, that's very admirable to
Yeah.
go through that type of struggle. And for you to be like, I'm not gonna be that.
Yeah.
Too many people follow in the footsteps, and
Yeah.
and it's not the right footsteps at time.
Yeah. People like to victimize themselves and then continue the cycle of abuse that they were a victim to, because we see a lot of people that's like. Oh, like we were talking about people that are like mean to kids. Like I'm sure you've seen tons of times you're out somewhere like Walmart, always at Walmart. But if you're at Walmart, there's always like some lady that's just like, you could tell like she's really mean to her kids. Like we've all seen it, and then you try to rationalize and be like, oh, well, her mom was probably really mean to her too. And it's like, okay, cool.
Still doesn't make it right, though.
That's not cool. That's not right. That's more of a reason why she shouldn't be like that, because that's how people continue cycles. And again, that's what I'm saying. People want to victimize themselves and be like, oh, well, my mom was mean to me. So, and it's just, as an adult, if you're a conscious adult and you have like, your head screwed on correctly, you should know that you want better for your kids. You want to end the cycle that you went through. And for me, I never had a dad, and like I don't really know what he was like because he passed away when I was like 3 years old.
Sorry to hear that, man.
It's all good, and I just know that being there for my kids is just it literally takes all that pain away. So that's why I always say to like any young men out there or people who can feel what I'm saying and relate to the fact that they didn't have a male role model. Don't get lost in the thought of like you not having one, and just try to channel that on being what you didn't have. Change the perspective. And instead of being like, oh, I don't know how to be a dad. Well, what about those times when you were a kid where you thought like, dang, I wish I had a dad right now? You got to be that, you got to be that person.
Absolutely.
So that's like one of my big messages, and if you do have kids, love them. And another thing that I like to say too is, God loves us the way that we love our kids.
Absolutely. That's a blessing, man. That's powerful.
It is, because like,
powerful.
Just think about it. If your kids disappoint you, they do something real bad, like you get really upset. You're disappointed, but they could never do something that would make you not love them.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And that's the same thing with God, bro. Like
me and my wife have that conversation all the time where like things sometimes get a little hectic, and it's like they're just being kids.
Yeah.
They're just acting their age. It's just because they seem so mature and so advanced that it's like when you really think about it, like, nah, they're 6, they're 3.
Yeah. They're just trying to figure out the world.
Yeah, that, and then I tell everybody we always, me and her always come across these damn Instagram reels where it's like you're just here to be your kid's past. You're just here to be the best memories for your kids. One of these days you're gonna wake up and there's not gonna be a mess to clean because the kids are gonna be grown and gone. And it's like, fuck, man. It's like, can I just be upset for a little bit? Like, can
Yeah.
I have my moment? But no,
Yeah.
100%. Looking at it from a different perspective, being the change, basically being who you would need in those moments of need.
Yeah, exactly.
I see that 100%. I agree 100%. There's nothing more powerful than a strong household. There's nothing more powerful than active parents who actively want to be in their kids' lives, whether they're still
Yeah.
together with the mom, or the dad and mom are still together, or they're co-parenting, but they're still making that attempt.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree 100%. Parenting can absolutely change the outlook in the future for any kid.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said too, as they get older, to not still be the victim.
Yeah.
I've struggled with that for some time. I've had my moments where I was the victim, and I played the victim, and I probably shouldn't have. But you just go through these funks or whatever it is mentally or psychologically that you're going to, and it's like, why are these people so happy? Why are these people not struggling? Why are these people not stressing? Why are these people, you start playing the blame game, and then it becomes one of those things where it's like, you know what? I'm hurting. I'm down. I want you guys to feel that too right now.
Yeah.
I want you guys to be just like me right now and feel some type of blues, it shouldn't be just me. I shouldn't have to carry this weight, But, it took me a long time to do. What I never did is, like you said, kind of step back and role reverse a little bit, and oh shit, they're not in this position because they work hard. They're not in this position because they went to school, and whatever it is I was feeling at those times and at those moments. But like you said, if you grow up and you think about it, hey, you know what? I needed a dad at this time and they weren't there, but this is what I'm gonna do to be sure that my kids never feel that. Same thing, if you're a victim in anything else, like don't play yourself. It's like, well, why do they got this? Well, because they work for that shit. Get your shit together and you won't feel that
Yeah.
way.
And then sometimes look at it even deeper, like sometimes that goes back a couple generations. Sometimes like the spoiled little rich kid, his great grandpa or whatever started a business and flourished, and like that's why his grandchildren are now, again, maybe they're little spoiled brats, but like
right.
it's because of somebody's hard work,
Yeah, that's true. Well, what's that cycle they say? Was it hard time create hard men? Hard men create easy times create easy men. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
easy
what you're
men
saying.
create hard times. It's that cycle. So
hard
it's like,
times create strong men, and then good times. I know what you're
you know
saying.
what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know what you're saying.
So
but
yeah,
I just don't.
So you look at other people and it's like, well, maybe because the hard times was their family first, and now they're the easy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know that I had a lot of self-reflecting to do. I had a lot of in-depth conversations with myself. I've been to therapy before, a few times I should say.
Yeah.
Music helps me. So I understand what you're saying about just the psychological part of you need to be a better person. You need to be that change. You need to be that father. You need to be present. You need I get that 100%. I agree with you 100% all that.
Yeah, man. Because some people out here having kids and not claiming them and continuing the cycle. Because
that's nuts, man. I could never do that.
I could never either,
I could never do that. I could never walk away from my kids, even if anything ever happened between me and my wife. God forbid. I pray nothing ever happens, but I could never just be like, oh, okay, you can have them. You can take them. Fuck, man. My heart would break every day. I would die inside, literally every day. The kids are the best blessing that anybody can ask for. You know what I mean?
Amen, bro.
Best blessing. That's why I push so hard with music. That's why I push so hard with podcasts. That's why I push, like, I want to go back to school and get into tech and other things. I want to show them that they don't have to be like me or the other relatives where it's just manual labor. I want them to use their brain. I want them to use their creativity.
Yeah,
I want them to, if they can, be their own boss, be their own person. wake up when they want, work their own hours, get their money that they deserve. Like I want to show them there's other ways than having to do this warehouse bullshit that I got to do, you know. And then that's to my fault either as well, just for being comfortable knowing I can go get an easy paycheck doing this. This is cake work, you know. But now it's like, you know, especially with kids, all I do is try to push hard for music, try to push hard for podcasts, and build and build and build. And you know, I want them to have that life, not necessarily on a platter, but for them to see what hard work can get you.
Exactly.
Using your brain. You know, all this stuff we do, music, podcasts, all this is stuff we have to think of first, and then figure out our programs and our softwares, come up with concepts, merch ideas, marketing ideas. Like this is all, none of it's heavy lifting. It's all in the brain, you know, and then, you know, time consuming. So that's what I'm trying to show them. That's what I want to do for them, and you know, let it pay back. You know, like give them that positive role model where it's like, okay, I don't gotta break my back today. I don't gotta come up sore. You know, I get tired of waking up sore, big dog. I get tired of being tired. You know, and
I feel that, bro.
I hope you know what I'm doing is enough to show them that they can do whatever. I want them to flourish, man. I want my son to do music. He's a little creative. I want my daughter to do music. You know, she's creative too. Yeah, dude. I would love for them to dabble a little bit to see if it's something they want to do. Although right now my son's interest is fighting. He wants to fight. And my daughter, you know, she's a sweetheart. She'll do anything that daddy does, you know.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, my daughter, I have like videos of me and her playing on the Akai MPK, my little beat maker keyboard. And yeah, when she was like a baby, I used to teach her how to like, I would put certain samples on there, and she used to have like a couple different favorite ones. And yeah, I have videos of her like playing it.
That's
and
dope.
She loves it. As she got older, you know, she obviously kind of like, you know, so, like at certain points, because I would do it when she was like a baby, like she couldn't even stand, you know, she'd be sitting on my lap. But obviously when kids get old enough to run around, they're like wanting to just play. But I need to like hone back in on that with her, because
have you had your kids in any of your music videos yet, or not yet?
I don't really have any music videos out right now. I got like, you know, just making like short form content right now. Right.
Like reels and shorts and all that.
But yeah, I've had them in it. Yeah.
I was thinking, like, as you were speaking, I was like, man, it'd be cool to have like a compilation of you growing with her and different things, and it becomes a music video. That'd be cool.
I have a video like that, not like a music video, but I have one that I made where it shows us. My voice squeaked. I have one where it shows when she was younger to like now, making beats. Yeah.
That's cool.
We just don't do it as much as when she was like younger,
watch
but I need to.
The next hit maker, dude.
Right?
Watch her, you know what I mean? You never know. She could sonically be thinking something we have, you know, haven't even thought of yet, and it makes sense to her, and all of a sudden it's a wave, you know. You never know.
For real. Yeah, and I have this one video of her when she was like real little, probably like 1 or 2, and she was using the drum pad, and she hit it like so perfectly. You know how Pharrell at the beginning of his songs, he'd be like, dun, 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 dun,
he like he counts it in,
yeah,
no?
Yeah, he does like that. She like did one of those, but it was perfectly on beat, and I was like, yo, it was dope.
That's the future right there, man.
Right? Yeah.
Before we get you out of here, I know you said you had that project that's gonna drop.
Yes,
you want to
sir.
name it one more time for me?
Stories from Carter Road.
10 tracks so far?
It's gonna be, because I'm still working out the kinks. I'm still like, you know, factoring in if certain songs are gonna make the cut or not. So you could expect it to be around 7.
A solid 7.
A solid 7, because I don't want no fat on the project. I want it to be all meaningful, well thought out. But
all steak and potatoes on
But
that
then again,
one.
7 to 10. There's gonna be 7 to 10, because there are a bunch of freestyles. So
okay.
yeah.
Besides your project coming out, is there any more singles we should be expecting?
Yes. So the project that I'm gonna be dropping is gonna be kind of like separate from. I'm gonna keep dropping singles, and they're gonna be on the same vibe that that you were talking about before, on some like upbeat, some stuff you could dance to.
Funky, man.
I'm
barbecue music. Big dog.
Exactly. I'm gonna be dropping continuously. I'm gonna be dropping stuff like that. But I'm also, just for the people that really rock with me, I'm gonna put out this Stories from Carter Road project, so they can get to know me better. And those people who grew up with me back on Carter Road, they're gonna really love this. And then again, it's just gonna be like tapping into my mind a little deeper than my other music usually does.
All right. Awesome. So we should be expecting an album. Should expecting some singles. What about live performances, man? I know you be hitting these stages and tearing it up too.
Yes, sir. I got 2 shows coming up this summer. I got one at True Fest. This is going to be 7/14, July 14th at the Copper Door. Shout out to the homies, man. Shout out to True 100 Radio for putting it on. And then August 3rd, that's a Saturday, I got one in downtown LA. That's going to be my first show in LA, which I'm excited about. Yeah, and there's going to be a bunch of other artists performing. Shout out to PBP, man. He's throwing the whole thing together.
The Hot 16s?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
Huge shout out there.
Yes, sir.
So we got July 14th and August 3rd.
Yes.
Alrighty. Besides your touring, your album, your singles come out, is there anything else you want to shout out and promote? Anybody that's been rocking with you? Any sponsors? Any potential sponsors? Anybody you want to show some love to? Anything at all? The floor is yours, my brother.
Man, first, gotta show love to God, show love to Jesus, because, of course, you know what I'm saying? Show love to my girl, Christy Joy. She's the best. She's been holding it down for me ever since, the day we first met. She's just always been a big help and a big supporter, and always, like, a lot of the creative content that you guys see, she's a lot of, like, the vision behind a lot of that. She really helps me visually with a lot of my stuff, photos. She's incredibly talented. I just want to say shout out to her for helping me with all that. And then also just the fact that, our son is going to be born at the end of this month. So, she's literally constructing a little baby inside of her tummy. It's, from the outside, it just looks like, just eating in emotions.
Yeah.
But on the inside, it's like, there's like a little factory, like little elves, like
100%.
Nah, so yeah, shout out to my girl. And then of course, shout out to you for having me on this podcast. Shout out to anybody who listens to my music. Shout out to the people that hate on my stuff on like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff, because you know why? Sometimes when you leave a hateful comment, every time I get a hateful comment, I go and I find someone else and I leave a nice comment. I do that. I'm just like, you know what? Somebody wants to be like, yo, this is trash. I'm like, all right, cool. And I'll scroll on TikTok until I see like there was this one, I saw this blind girl. She was singing. And I was like, man, she's killing it. Wrote a really nice comment. Anytime I see people getting bullied online, I leave a nice comment. Because just think about it. I see a lot of stuff I don't like on the internet, but I don't ever go out of my way to like
hate on somebody,
talk about it. Like, there's stuff that I've seen where I've genuinely been like, clowning around in the comments, but it's not clowning on somebody. It's more of like something stupid and happens in a video, something like that. But if somebody's genuinely trying and putting out art or whatever it is that they're doing, like whatever, and if you're going on there and you want to bring that person down, that's like a personal problem. That's something you got to talk to your therapist about.
It says something about you guys.
Yeah, that's something you got to figure out on your own. I can't help you with it. I don't have that kind of degree, but
that's cool. That's a good way to look at it.
Hating is a sign of something deeper.
I don't know if I've gotten hate yet. Maybe behind the scenes, behind my back. I just don't know.
People love to hate on a white kid who raps, man. Every time on TikTok or whatever.
I just feel like I would just be like, all right, well, I appreciate your honesty. I don't know.
No, but I mean, I don't say nothing back to them. I don't say nothing back to them.
I thought you were going to take it a different direction. I thought you were going to say, well, I'm going to scroll to somebody who really sucks and then send it to like in a message to them. Hey, look, these guys suck.
No.
I thought you were going a whole different direction.
Nah. If somebody leaves hateful comments, I literally am just like, all right, cool. I'm just going to go and spread love.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And it's it's like a funny thing. Like literally every time, like if I get a notification, I'm just like, all right, cool, whatever. So then I just go comment on somebody else because I'm just balancing it out. I'm balancing out the hate and the love. And I don't really care, bro. People talk shit on the internet. People are gonna hate on anybody for anything that they do. People, if you go to like you said, Drake, you big fan of Drake. You go to his music, tons of hate comments.
Oh, big time.
Anybody.
Dude, it can be one of his best songs, and you can go listen to it,
Yeah.
and people will still put, yeah, but you got bodied by Kendrick.
Yeah, exactly. But people.
It's like, dude, he dropped this shit like 10 years ago, and you're going to put a Kendrick diss in it right now? Fuck,
Yeah,
man.
right. Yeah, they're commenting on like his old stuff, and they're like.
I'm not gonna lie though. Sometimes I get suckered into to just reading comments. Obviously not mine. I don't have that much engagement yet.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping, doing these podcasts and things, I can create more traffic and get some engagement. Because I don't mind, chopping it up. But sometimes I'll just go to post and you just see something and you're like, man, these comments are gonna light somebody up. Watch. You just start reading, and it's like it's witty though.
Yeah,
Like,
no. Sometimes
there's
a
some
roast.
brutal. Yeah, there's
It's
some brutal
roast,
things, but
it's
some
like-
of it's pretty fucking.
It's
witty.
humorous. That's a different thing. Like if somebody's kind of roasting, I don't know. That's kind of fun, and that's
Yeah.
kind of more like
Well, like
lighthearted. But if they're just like, this fucking sucks, fuck you,
Yeah, that's
like some
shitty.
shit like that.
That's
It's
shitty.
like,
But like, do you remember when that meme? I don't know if it was a meme or a video, but there was that lady going, "He needs some milk. Just give him some," whatever that is.
yeah,
There was somebody on a different video. It had nothing to do with that, and I don't know if it was like they were riding a bike and somebody came behind like a motorcycle and like just kicked them. They fell,
Yeah.
whatever. But the first comment was, "Oh, he just needs some milk."
Yeah.
And it's like something like that. I find it so funny and
no,
humorous.
yeah, that's
you know what I
funny.
mean?
That's comedy. But like hating is not comedy. Like
And
that's
internet's quick, big dog.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
quick.
yeah, dude. They're quick and shisty. Like
Mhm.
sometimes you just see some crazy shit. Like anytime you see somebody that like looks funny or something, like looks different, you could say, like you'll just open the comments and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh man.
You get taken back. All right, my brother. We're coming to the end of this. Been a great podcast.
Thank you, bro.
It's been so much fun to get to know you even more so in person than through just your music. I believe we got linked up through, what was it, For the Fans maybe? We were in one of the same contests and all that, and we've been following each other ever since. So I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of you, big dog. I'm...
Was it you and I that went against each other?
No, I forgot. I went up against David May.
Okay,
And I
no.
lost.
I remember now.
And then I went up against Nate Shy and I lost. And I went like 3 times. And I was like, how the fuck am I not winning? But no like shade to anybody.
Yeah.
But I was just like, how the fuck did I not?
I
win?
remember I saw you, and that's why I followed you, because I was like, this dude is fucking killing it. This
Yeah,
dude's
I
got some
appreciate that,
bars.
man. But
course.
yeah, man. So it's been a couple years, But with that being said, big dog, you are a artist who is extremely multi-talented.
Thank you, bro.
You are an immaculate beat maker.
Appreciate that.
You got the skills and determination to be a producer extraordinaire. It's obvious you know what you're doing, the engineering aspect. You are a king at what you're doing, big dog. I want you to shout yourself out, promote yourself on where we can find you, where we can follow you, your projects, where you're going to be at, the tours. You deserve all the shine you can get, big dog. I hope this finds
appreciate you,
everybody
bro.
well. Go ahead, my brother. Shout yourself out, big dog.
Yo, what up, guys? Shout out to the homie, man. I really appreciate you having me.
There we go.
Fuck that up. All right.
We
All right,
good.
shit. Yo, man, it's Adam Cashen. I just wanted to say, come rock with me July 14th at True Fest, downtown Santa Ana, man. It's going to be fucking lit. Also, August 3rd, we got Hippie Summer Fest. Come through. It's going to be fucking lit as well. You guys already know I'm going to be dropping new music. I got projects coming, singles coming. Just stay tuned. We got summer vibes in full effect. Yes, sir. Thank you. Peace.
This is Marc the Franchise with in-house convos on the Marc the Franchise Podcast Network, coming live, well, actually recorded, but via YouTube and anywhere else I decide to put this shit. This is my homeboy, my brother, my fam, Adam Cashen, and we are out. We will see you later on the next one. Peace.
You bougie. You bougie. Yeah, you bad and bougie. Laguna with your girls and you having Trulies. Margaritas on the beach. Bellini with the peach. Champagne ain't cheap, but your bag is Louis.